Are you looking to move? Well, you ain't the only one. And 2023 is predicted to be the most active year when it comes to state-to-state relocations in history. And while some states have gotten better since the pandemic, here's the top 10 states that are expected to get worse before they get better into 2023 and well beyond. At number 10, you got Illinois, which is the second worst ran state in the nation, along with number 2 when it comes to political corruption. Along with the worst place to be a taxpayer, and 1 in 4 residents think it's the worst. However, Illinois is the 48th best place to do business, and they recently raised their credit score a whole point. Mainly because the legalization of medical and recreational dispensaries, along with having slot machines in damn near every shopping center and gas station that wants one. And with the new law that passed called the Safety Act that'll be implemented January 1st of 2023, where it'll end cash bail for non-detainable offenses such as second-degree murder, aggravated assault, kidnapping, and arson, some political leaders are calling this the end of days for Illinois, but we'll see. At number 9, you got Ohio, where the rural areas ain't that bad, and the small towns are actually quite nice. But Ohio's biggest problems are its cities. Its big cities are being run down, from Cleveland, Toledo, Youngstown, Dayton, Cincinnati, and even Springfield, the home of the Simpsons, has a crime rate 150% higher than the national average. The main problems there, like economics, addiction, and inflation, are not expected to be better anytime soon. Number 8 is Oregon, and the Beaver State has some problems, but the biggest problem Oregon has is Portland, the homeless capital of the world. Half the state wants to separate itself from the other half, and although that'll never happen, one thing's for sure: Portland will continue to drag the rest of the state down with it. At number 7, you got California. With ridiculous home prices, along with the cost of living, they also have a homeless problem that's out of control. Companies and people are leaving, and for the first time ever, California's population has decreased despite migrants still flooding in. California will continue to get worse year after year, and they're traveling down a road that nobody wants to be on. At number 6, you got Oklahoma, and while Oklahoma City and Tulsa ain't doing too bad, the small towns continue to struggle and dwindle in population. Most of the state depends on public assistance, and they're one of the worst when it comes to education and healthcare, and they're not expected to get better anytime soon. At number 5, you got Arkansas, where they haven't improved anything there over the past 25 years and won't be doing so anytime soon. The northwest corner of the state ain't that bad, but the small towns and big cities like Little Rock and Pine Bluff are riddled with crime and poverty and expected to get worse. At number 4, you got Alaska, and while some people decide to flee there, they don't realize that the cost of living is astronomical. While there are some good things in Alaska, like the outdoors and fishing, jobs and economic opportunity are not one of them. And there are less people heading there and more people fleeing year after year. At number 3, you got New Mexico, with the absolute worst schools and education system in the nation, along with them having the 5th highest crime rate in America. New Mexico won't be getting better, at least for the next decade, 2 or 3. And the best thing in New Mexico is the sunsets. At number 2, you got Mississippi, and they have the highest poverty rate in the nation, where 20% of its residents live in squalor. While they have some awesome people and great schools in Mississippi, they're the absolute worst when it comes to healthcare, economics, and infrastructure. And on the top 10 worst of every category you could possibly think of, Mississippi will fall into it. And the number 1 country expected to get worse going into the new year is Louisiana, where they're also number 1 when it comes to political corruption, coming next to Illinois. In Mississippi, just like Illinois, the political corruption goes back over a century. Most of these states' problems can be traced to the state's politicians, because when you have bad politicians making bad choices that are not for the people, the state just gets run down. Most of these states' problems won't be getting better anytime soon because of crime and poverty that'll take a generation to fix. And if you constantly got the people that are going to jail who are supposed to be responsible for fixing that state's problems, it's going to take a lot longer than that.